What is going on, YouTube? I thought I would take a moment to bring y'all an update video, both an update on Gwen, on the projects here at the house, why I haven't worked on an airplane in a couple weeks, and so on and so forth. I've put out a couple really good videos, in my own personal opinion, that performed really well over the last couple of weeks, and I didn't have anything to upload for today, just because I wasn't working on anything. I was super busy, but I'm out in the barn right now. It's raining. It's awesome. I love when the weather's like this. It just makes you want to stay inside, but if you got a barn or a shop to go work in, it's kind of, you know, it's fun. But anyways, I've done some things to the Miata. I'm trying to make a video of it, but there's too much footage, and I might have to make it two parts. I finished blacking out the lights. I filmed all that, so that's going to be being uploaded very soon. But what I am really excited about is this. I finally got around to powder coating both the door handles. I'll upload a short here in a minute. I destroyed the old door handles because I tried to use muriatic acid, and what it did was eat through all the pot metal. So if you're ever thinking about powder coating them, strip them with sandpaper or a sandblaster. Do not try to use muriatic acid to get the chrome off because it won't work. But I got those powder coated. Obviously I had the deck plates powder coated a while back, and I also blacked out the emblems. So I just used Plasti Dip on those because I wasn't super worried about it. But that's what's going on with this. I'm gonna try to fix the fuel gauge here real quick. I'm gonna try to get the front lip back on it. But neither of those things are super exciting, so I'm not going to film it. The GS is still right there. The GS is 550, is still sitting for now. I haven't had the time to work on it. I'm trying to carve out time and gather parts for my Mustang, however, and this is what's going to be happening at the end of the summer. So in just a couple of weeks, in August, when it finally hits, I'm going to finish up the cowl. I found a hole in my firewall, so I got to make a patch and patch the firewall. And this, once I get that patched, I'm going to pull the engine and transmission out with my engine hoist. I've got a brand new set of valve covers there. Anyways, so I'm gonna put a new set of valve covers in this. I'm going to patch the hole in the firewall, and I have bought a new transmission for it. I should say I'm getting a new transmission for it. It currently has a C4 automatic with a B&M stage 2 shift kit in it and a stock torque converter on a 289 bell housing. It's a 302. 289 bell housing doesn't really matter. They're all the same. But I'm gonna sell that. It does have a couple leaks that I need to fix. I'm gonna sell that transmission, and I'm buying a T5 for it from a buddy of mine. Found out that I can use a T5 with a, what is it, a Fox body, an 86 through 92 Fox body bell housing, and it will bolt right up to what I have. The length is the same, so I shouldn't have to change the drive shaft. Even if I do, cutting down a drive shaft is not the end of the world. I can take it to a driveline shop and have that done. So that's what's gonna be happening at the end of the summer. Maybe not the transmission swap just yet, but I am gonna be getting the engine and transmission out to fix all the leaks, and be fixing the firewall, fixing the cowl, because I want to drive this thing for my 30th birthday. I'm turning 30 in August, so looking forward to that. But that's what's going on with this. So next, like I said, I'm gonna get the out of this. Look at the fuel gauge out of this. I've got a new front license plate mount for it. I made a front license plate mount. I'm gonna stick it over on the side. I'm gonna try to get that in there. I'm gonna try to get the front lip back on it. I've got to fix it real quick, sand it down and paint it, and then the only thing left I have to black out is the exhaust tip. And I'm gonna see, I don't know if I can powder coat it. It's chrome, so I'd have to strip it all off, or I can maybe just Plasti Dip it, and if Plasti Dip will last, I might do that, because that's the only piece of chrome left on the car. So I'm gonna get started with all of that, and like I said, I may talk more, I may talk less. We'll see what happens. Okay, this is the door handle. I had to take it back out to fix this little lock clip. This lock clip goes in sort of like this. I hope you can see that. I had it facing straight up and down, and the open side actually needs to face back, and that's what holds the lock cylinder in place. Once you take that out, the lock cylinder basically just slides out the back. But if you're gonna powder coat your door handles like I did, when you put all this spring and everything back together, do yourself a favor and either tape it off before you powder coat it, or sand the powder coating back off of there, because it will make it so tight that the door handle doesn't want to spring back shut when you pull the door handle. So make sure this is all nice and clean. I'm gonna go stick this back in, but I'll show you what that looks like real quick. So I've got everything out of here for the most part. And the door handle actually sits right up in here. I don't know if you can see my fingers or not. I'm trying to show you, but the door handle actually sits up in here with 2 bolts, and you don't really have a whole lot to it. This is on the outside. You just put it all together and then sort of fish it down in there like that, and there you go. So I'll put the bolts back in it and bolt it in place. It's really easy to put door handles in and out of a Miata. It's not that bad. There's not a lot of room inside the door. Be very careful not to break any of the plastic tabs on anything. Turn this way so you can see me. Be very careful not to break any of the plastic tabs on anything because they're kind of hard to find, and you're not going to want to have to replace them if you don't have to. So, word of wise. Trying to get this fuel gauge fixed now, and I'm getting to the gauge cluster. So I would like to put custom gauges in this, like a custom cover at some point. So I'm not super worried about it. I'm just trying to get the fuel gauge to work because I like to know how much gas I have in here. Yes, the car does only have 41,000 miles, but you take the screws out of the cover or out of the hood, you pull the hood off. You got to take the steering wheel cover off first. You get that off, you get the hood off, and then you get the screws out of this, and it just sort of comes loose, and you pull it forward. There's 2 plugs on the back, and there is a cable into the back of the tachometer that you're gonna have to get loose. So I'll get those loose, and then I'll actually show you what this looks like with the hood off of it, and I'll show you how to take a fuel gauge out of one of these, because it's actually really, really easy, surprisingly. Okay, I got it out. Make sure you get the speedometer cable first, because the speedometer cable, it might not give you very much leeway. It might not give you very much slack. So once you get that out, then you've got the plug on the right, plug on the left. There's a tab that you can just push and get those out. Some of them have a third plug. I forget what it's for, but mine does not have it because mine's not an LS. It's just a PEP. But once you get that out, here's the hood here. It's got little tabs. And now one of mine is already broken, but if you just take a flathead screwdriver and push on these tabs while simultaneously pulling out, like I got that one right there with my fingernail. There's 2 on the top, and then there's 3 on the bottom. And like I said, you just slowly but surely work your way around it. As you can tell, I have done this a couple of times. If you slowly but surely work your way around it, you can pull this off, and what you're left with is an empty cluster. So now that I got this out, I've got my new fuel gauge here. My old fuel gauge is still in here. So all I'm gonna do is pull the needle. I'll pull these screws here, 3 screws here, swap them, and then I'll put it all back together, and I'll see if that fixes the problem. Now, what's actually really cool is you can actually stick this back in the car, and because the hood just snaps into place, you can stick this back in, screw it in place, start it up, do all your needles and everything, and then stick that on with this already in the car. So, pro tip, I guess. All right, I got it all swapped. It's not moving super fast, but it's moving. At least it's showing fuel. I'm actually gonna leave it like this. I can put it back together in a couple of minutes with just a Phillips screwdriver. But I'm gonna leave it like this because the last time I did it, I actually put the temperature needle on wrong. It's reading almost all the way on the red line when it's completely normal. I've like triple checked that. I just stuck the needle on wrong when I put it all back together. And I did the oil pressure wrong too. The oil pressure reads like right there, and it just, you know. Anyways, so I'll fix all that, but there you go. It's starting to read fuel. I'll leave it loose too, because when next time I fill it up and I know that the fuel tank is all the way full, I'll stick it on the full mark, and then it should read how much fuel's in it. But next thing's next. I'm gonna put the license plate on it. So I think that's gonna go ahead, do it for now. I still gotta put the gauge cluster back together, but like I said, I want to fix those needles. It looks 10 times better in my opinion with a black door handle and black deck plates and also black emblems, but that's just me. I will see you all in the next one. Stay tuned for a after credits exhaust clip. If you like the video, make sure you leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram, join the Discord, all that good stuff. As always, go build something and be easy.